I once made a list of goals I wanted to achieve in my lifetime. The list was a range of things from very achievable to potentially not possible. One of the items on it was to walk across the state of Michigan. I wasn't sure where this walk goal ranked if you were sorting them that way, but 7 years later, I was able to check it off the list. I wrote this when I was planning it out. It is a fool's journey. It is too many steps. On my Michigan Atlas, it covers 9 pages, so roughly a page a day. The distance can be seen from the moon. It doesn't matter if we are smart or stupid, rich or poor, boring or eccentric. We are all connected by this long, stretching highway, the sun that sets far ahead where the road becomes unseen, the dry dust that gets picked up by a wind in the hot midday, and the rain that blankets everything in misty darkness. Pine-crafted picnic benches sit in yards to be sold, and yesterday's plants wither in a ghostly field, but I have passed them all. I planned the walk so that it would begin at Lake Michigan and end at Lake Huron. The main route across was Highway M21. My main companion for the trip was an audiobook out of Africa, a book of memoirs by Karen Blixen, published under her pen name Itzhak Dinesen. I also bought an album of vocal works by Thomas Tallis, and I started each day by listening to some of it, figuring the music would help cement the memories in my brain. To capture thoughts on the journey, I would record myself speaking. These readings are from that audio journal. In between each of the observations, you can imagine a lot of walking. I'm standing in the water of Lake Michigan. The rain finally stopped. I took my rain poncho off. It's a beautiful day now. There were severe thunderstorm warnings, which I passed through on my drive out to the lake. When we arrived, it was still raining. I waded into the lake water up to my waist. The water temperature was beautiful. If I had the time, I would have swum, although I'm in a section of the beach that's marked as closed with a do not enter sign. But I just needed the quickest lake access, so I'm the only one here except for a flock of seagulls on either side of me walking along the beach, and lots of dead fish. I just found a humongous fish. I have to get a picture of this fish. I don't even know what kind it is. There are a lot of fish along the beach, just little ones, 4 inches maybe. They look like they'd be good to eat if you caught a bunch. I'm wondering if the whole beach is closed. Even past where it's fenced off, I don't see anybody. I can't see anybody on the beach of Lake Michigan, all along the coast from where I'm standing. The storm has passed over and it's cloudy, but there's no rain and the temperature is perfect. I encountered my first obstacle prior to the first step of the journey. I think I spend more time in life navigating plan B or C or Z than I do on my original plans. In my head, things go much more smoothly, but I've got a brain that makes decisions in a way that if there is a way to be forced into a detour path, I will find it. When I was dropped off at the end of Lake Michigan Drive, there was no lake access there, which I didn't discover until my ride was gone. I figured there would at least be some place where I could make a quick dash to the water, but there was not. So I ended up having to walk 2 miles south before I reached a public beach. It was disheartening knowing that every step I took would be doubled before the actual walk east could begin. I'm leaving the park. It's 3 o'clock. I'm reluctant to leave the park. I feel drawn to water. I'd love to stay and just play on the beach for a few hours, but I have miles to go before I sleep. I don't know why I or we are so attracted to water. I never feel so alive, though, as when I'm at a river or a lake, or especially the ocean, or in a boat. What makes us feel that way about water? I'm walking along a nice bike path that goes alongside of this road. I don't even know the name of the road that heads back up to Lake Michigan Drive. There's some kind of hedge. No, it's not a hedge. It's a hill with some kind of plant growing on it, thick enough that I didn't even know that a hill was there. It looks like I'm back to Lake Michigan Drive. I can see the water plant. There's some kind of filtration plant right at the corner of Lake Michigan Drive and this road, right on the lake's edge. Arriving back at Lake Michigan Drive, I'm glad to finally be starting. I didn't get much enjoyment out of my 2 miles walking here because I hadn't started yet. It was just preliminary. Now I know that every step I take, I'm closer to Lake Huron. Your observations when walking such a long distance are often very different than they would be otherwise. Sometimes looking at a stretch of land, my thought is, this doesn't look like a place that would offer many opportunities to go to the bathroom. I have to watch and time my bathroom breaks, not only time them in my own cycle of biology, but also with the oncoming traffic. I hate traffic to see me head into the woods and know why I'm going, so I have to time the moment between passing cars and a good place to enter the woods, and at just the right moment so I don't have to run back over ground I've already covered. And I have to say a word about trespassing. A road is a parcel of land only 15 feet wide that you are told that you can be on as long as you don't step off of that 15-foot width. My reaction to that is, I understand the rule, but the only thing in that strip of land is concrete, stones, and dirt. You can carry food and water with you, but you cannot carry a toilet, a chair, and a bed. And so I do at times have to take advantage of somebody's forest or field. Once a picnic table to sit on and rest, although it was a picnic table for sale, and I guess I was just testing it out. Michigan is a beautiful state. I think I've taken this for granted. I just assume that every state has its own pluses and minuses, and I know that every state does, but not to the same extent. I don't think Michigan is anywhere near the bottom of the list of best states to live in. I think it has a lot more beauty than some of the other states. I'm sure it's not the top. It doesn't have mountains, but it has great forests and vast open land, most of which still has not been developed. I would think that must give us a somewhat happier life than those who live somewhere else.